What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Arkane Aleworks, and they're out of Largo, Florida, and this is their Grandma Fingers, the Carrot Cake variant. So this is a pastry sour, and on the bottom of the label it says sour ale with carrots, cinnamon, brown sugar, pecans, and cream cheese. It comes in at 6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is just under 6 months old. And I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a friend of mine, Kenny, for this beer. So big thanks to him. Kenny used to work at Brewed and Bottled in Lewiston, New York, and a couple months ago when I was at the shop hanging out and sharing beers and having a good time, at the end of the night, Kenny sent me home with a can of this on him. I mentioned that I like carrot cake beers, and carrot cake in general, one of my favorite desserts, and he's like, hey, did you try the Arkane one? I said, no. He goes, all right, on me, take it home. Now, unfortunately, I put it in my fridge, kind of got pushed to the back because of all the other hop forward beers and other beers I had from beer mills and whatnot. But I'm getting to it now. Now it's a bit older, and Kenny did say that he's had some issues with some of these heavily fruited slash pastry sour beers going sideways. So hopefully that's not the case here. Also, like I said, Kenny no longer works at Brewed and Bottled, but if you want to catch him in and around Niagara County at different places to drink, he works a couple times a week at Griffin Brewing in Youngstown, New York, and he also works on Center Street in Lewiston at the Lewiston Stonehouse. So if you see him, say Joe from the Beer Patrol says hi. So anyway, I cracked this one open off camera over the sink because it was super tight, the can. However, it just looks like an overfill. Yeah, I thought it might explode, go secondary fermentation and all that. Nope, it's fine. I did roll this one beforehand, so hopefully it's all right. Like I said, almost 6 months old. Hopefully it has held up. So we're gonna give it a pour here, and it looks like carrot juice. That's it. Like it looks like a Fanta or something, or like a Sunkist orange. Maybe a bit darker, but that looks wild. Very carbonated still. Now on the label here, it does say specifically to refrigerate, drink fresh, keep cold, do not age. So I did refrigerate, did not drink fresh. I kept it cold, do not age. So I'm 2 for 4 on what they say here, and I love the logo, Grandma Carrot Cake. As I became an adult, like over the past 10, 15 years, I have appreciated carrot cake more and more to the point where it's now one of my favorite desserts. It's as a kid, nope, now yeah. So that looks like a glass of like V8, like maybe like the if there was a carrot laden V8, but that is 100% carrot juice. In person, it's a little bit more of like a reddish kind of orange as opposed to orange on camera. I don't think my contraband flashlight, even if I went from the bottom, is really going to do anything because it's super murky. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. But yeah, it had like a 2-finger head that dissipated instantly, fizzed away probably from all the adjuncts. It's very murky and turbid. You really can't see through it. But if we're going to say that looks like a carrot cake beer, sure, it definitely looks like a carrot beer. I don't know about carrot cake. Anyway, let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells like the cream cheese frosting you get. The best part of a carrot cake is the frosting for me. It smells like that, but it has that, like I would think, and there is no raisins in here, right? Because some carrot cakes have raisins, some don't. I prefer the ones with raisins. I know some people don't like a lot of, like fruit and nuts in their carrot cake, or like maybe more finely chopped. I don't mind like big raisins, big pecans, walnuts, whatever. Dude, that smells like cream cheese frosting, a little bit of brown sugar, and then it has this like dark fruit, like I'd say raisin, and a little bit of a nuttiness. Brown sugar is really ramping up as I go back. It does smell like it's going to be sweet, so the perceived sweetness here is high, but there is a nice kind of like tart kind of vibe to this one as well. The best way to describe this one, it's the frosting of a carrot cake with a little bit of the innards with that raisin nuttiness. The brown sugar is really screaming. Cinnamon's not overdone. This smells awesome, and it smells like it held up, but we won't know until I taste it. So cheers. Thanks again, Kenny. Dude, that is fucking delicious. And it's firmly tart, almost into low sour. Shout out to Joe over at Giles Arcade. Every single time I review one of these crazy pastry beers with 75 different adjuncts and super sweet like a carrot cake sour, he always posts. I'm sure he's gonna see this and he's gonna post and be like, I'm still pissed off. Joe used to drink like, I know not to the point, but like what was it, The Answer, when those first stopped. I remember watching your reviews and you go nuts, being like, I can't believe this is beer. Some of it's really not, but I still enjoy these. Hey, there's nothing wrong with these. There's so many different beer styles out there. If people want to drink these every single day and enjoy them, let them do so. If they want nothing to do with them, I'm cool with that. I don't like drinking these a lot. I usually post these like 2 or 3 times a month max, because this is not something I can drink every day. But as far as like a dessert goes and a fun beverage, I'm here for it. Body's not as thick as I thought. Now, it's only 6%, but it is a heavily fruited pastry sour. Like higher side of medium, approaching low full. For 6%, yeah, crazy. But for like a beer like this, it looks a lot thicker like in the glass. Like it just looks like it has a viscosity to it. And it's not as big as you would think. The mouthfeel is also more carbonated. This is like moderately carbonated. It's smooth going down. I would have thought it'd have a little bit more creaminess. They're not using lactose, or if they are, they're not putting it on the label. But that cream cheese is definitely a noticeable on the palate for sure. But yeah, this is more like moderately carbonated with a smoothness, not a big creaminess. So body and mouthfeel are nice for what they are, but they're not like mind-blowing. The taste is fucking carrot cake sour. That's exactly what it is. So the only weird thing about this one is up front, I get a little bit of like, it might be just my mind playing tricks on me because of the look of it, but I get like this citrus, like an orange or a tangerine. So it works more with the base sour than anything. Kind of weird in conjunction with the carrot cake flavors, but right at the tip of the tongue, it's like pithy, zesty, juicy orange. Dives underneath the palate, never to be seen again. After that, waves to me of brown sugar for sure. Brown sugar is leading the way. I'm getting vanilla, probably from the cream cheese. That frosting's kind of there, but not as pronounced as it was in the nose. And there's nice omnipresent kind of like cinnamon spiciness kind of lingering above everything. There's an underlying nuttiness from the pecans. If I was doing this blind, I wouldn't say pecans specifically. You could say walnuts, pecans, peanuts, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a generic nuttiness. The base sour gives off like this slight bready, kind of doughy. I wouldn't say cakey. Like it doesn't have like the cake flavor you'd get from like a carrot cake, but it's kind of in that realm, but not exact. On the finish, this dries out nicely. It has like a semi to almost full-on dryness. No bitterness to speak of. There's absolutely zero bitterness, which you kind of expect out of this. The tart/sour quality of this one is firmly tart into low sour. It's not much more than that. I do get a little bit of puckering on the sides, but not big. It's just like it just starts. You get a little tingle in the back of the jaw, and you're like, oh, it's going to be super sour, and then it doesn't. It kind of peters out. This is sweet. It's luscious. It's rich. It's decadent, but it's not cloying. Like as you can see, I'm taking sips that I'm not. This is not like a couple of those RAR beers I had from their Out of Order series, where like I took a couple sips and I'm like, I can't do it. This is not to that level, but it is sweeter. It's like a soda pop sweetness, but maybe not as sweet as that. Close, though. 6%, you can't tell. You know what? This is a tasty beer. This is a tasty beer. It is a beer. They call it a sour ale, so they're not just saying... So a lot of places will just say sour, and they use a seltzer base nowadays, but they don't really tell you. This doesn't taste like a seltzer base to me. Like a little bit of that bready, doughy character. It's probably just a generic kettle sour, which is fine. That's kind of what breweries do with this. Did they nail the carrot cake pastry sour as far as like stylistically? Yes, I think they did. They pretty much did a great job with it. Personal preference, I love this beer. This is the one I'm going to save for Pops. So Harry, yes, Pops is going to get a little bit of this because his favorite dessert, carrot cake. It doesn't matter where it is, you get carrot cake. So I got to save him some of this. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. And that's good because I don't need to be drinking what probably is 500-600 calories easily here. So Grandma Fingers, the carrot cake variant from Arkane Aleworks. I said, right, 6%, you really can't tell. I am going to give this, I think stylistically, for what they're going for, this is like 4.849. Like, they nailed it. And this is 6 months old. They tell you not to age it, all that bullshit. Listen, you can if you want, but you're playing with your own money. In this case, I did not, so sorry, Kenny. But it did end up being really tasty. Did not go sideways. There's no, weird off flavors, no vinegar, nothing that wouldn't say that it's infected or it has turned. It's absolutely delicious. So yeah, 4.849 stylistically. Personal preference, 4.55. I'll give it a high 4.5. Easily. This is delicious. They have a bunch of other variants of this. What was the other one I saw? It was like a cherry pie, I think, or something like that. I have to grab more of these at some point when I'm in the mood. And today I was in the mood for something like this. That's why I reviewed it. Price point, I think it was like $6 or $6.50 a can at Brewed and Bottled. So you're probably looking at, like, at the brewery, probably between $22 to $25 a 4-pack. If it's a little bit cheaper than that, like $20, that's cool. But I didn't pay anything because thank you, Kenny. But if I would have bought this, it would have been like $6.50 a can. Okay with that for a single, no doubt. But a 4-pack's probably more in that $22 to $24 realm, I would assume. And availability, I have no idea with Arkane Aleworks. I don't know if they have a beer finder on their website. We do see their stuff here in Buffalo, New York from time to time. They'll get, like, drops where it's like 2 or 3, 4 different things. And yeah, I'll have to check out some more of their stuff, even some of their non-sours, because I've had a couple other collabs on the channel. Like was with Mortalis. It was the red, white, and blue sour. That was really good. So yeah, good job, Arkane Aleworks. 4.55 out of 5. This is delicious. I like I said, I'm going to have to save half of that for my dad because I could house that. There is a little bit of like a mild to moderate kind of acidity on the back. So I maybe if I house that, I would get heartburn, but I don't know. But I'm not going to find out. But it does have a little bit more acidity than a lot of these sours do. But I appreciate that it is firmly tart. It's not sickly sweet, although it is sweet. Has a pretty decent balance, although lean sweeter. And I get pretty much everything that's in the beer, so can't really complain about. So once again, huge thanks to Kenny for this one. If you've had this beer before, please post in the comment section. If not, have you had a carrot cake beer of any kind? Have you had anything from Arkane Aleworks? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks to Kenny. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next time, cheers. And oh yeah, like I said, 6% as I sip on it. Yeah, you can't really tell, but I would guess 5 to 6% based on the flavors and what I'm drinking and whatnot. I think it makes sense. Anyway, cheers.